Clapperboard full script, from junkie to hero. The soldier who beat heroin in a war zone, 847 days sober. 71 Taliban killed syringe, right arrow, military medal. Total length, 19-20 minutes, word count, 400 words. Parker's a junkie. He's gonna relapse and get us all killed. That's what Sergeant Martinez said. Afghanistan, 2017. First deployment briefing. Ryan Parker was 27 years old. He'd been clean for 8 months. 8 months and 12 days, to be exact. Because when you're a recovering heroin addict, you count every single day. The platoon didn't know about Ryan's past. Not officially. He'd lied on his medical forms. Checked no for drug use. Faked the piss test. Got into the Army clean, stayed clean through basic training. But word gets out. Somehow, it always gets out. Maybe someone from his hometown recognized him. Maybe he talked in his sleep. Maybe he was too obvious about avoiding the guys who drank on weekends. However it happened, by week 3 in Afghanistan, everyone knew. Ryan Parker was a former heroin addict. 10 years of shooting up. 3 overdoses. Fresh out of rehab. And the platoon treated him like the worthless junkie they thought he was. Don't trust Parker with anything important. He'll probably steal it and sell it for drugs. Keep Parker away from the medical supplies. He'll raid them first chance he gets. Parker's gonna get the shakes and freeze up during a firefight. Mark my words. Ryan heard every word, every insult, every assumption that he was going to fail, going to relapse, going to get someone killed. And for the first 30 days in Afghanistan, Ryan thought they might be right. Because those first 30 days were absolute hell. The worst withdrawal of his life. Worse than rehab. Worse than any of his 3 attempts to quit cold turkey. Because in Afghanistan, there were no counselors, no support groups, no medications to ease the symptoms. Just Ryan, his demons, and a war zone. He spent those first 30 days shaking, sweating through his uniform, vomiting behind the barracks, hallucinating during guard duty, wanting to die. But he didn't use. Not once. Because there was nothing to use. No heroin in Afghanistan. No dealers. No pills that would help. Just combat. Just missions. Just staying alive. And somewhere around day 47, Ryan realized something that would change everything. The war was keeping him sober. The adrenaline. The missions. The constant danger. It was replacing the high, giving him something to focus on besides the craving. For the next 2 years and 4 months, 847 days total, Ryan Parker stayed sober in a combat zone, the longest he'd ever been clean in his entire adult life. And during those 847 days, he killed 71 Taliban fighters. The platoon that had mocked him, insulted him, and written him off as a worthless junkie slowly watched him transform from the soldier they thought would fail into the soldier they couldn't function without. This is the story of Ryan Parker, the heroin addict who found redemption in the last place anyone expected, a war zone. Because sometimes the only way to escape hell is to walk through a different kind of hell and come out the other side stronger than anyone thought possible. Ryan Parker grew up normal. That's the thing about addiction. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't start with a sign that says future addict here. Ryan was a regular kid, middle-class family, Phoenix, Arizona. 2 parents who loved him. A younger sister he protected. Good grades. Played baseball. Had friends. Normal. Age 17, senior year of high school. That's when it started. Not with heroin. Nobody starts with heroin. They start with something smaller. For Ryan, it was Vicodin. His friend's mom had back surgery. Had leftover pills. The friend brought them to school. Dude, try this. It's amazing. Ryan tried it. And it was amazing. The warm feeling. The relaxation. The way all his stress about college applications and his parents' divorce just melted away. He felt good for the first time in months. So he tried it again and again. And within 3 weeks, Ryan was taking Vicodin every day. His friend's supply ran out. But Ryan had learned something useful. Pills weren't hard to find. Classmates sold them. $20 for a few pills. Ryan had a part-time job. He could afford it. For a while. Then the prices went up. $40. $60. Pills got harder to find. Ryan was taking 6 pills a day just to feel normal. His paychecks weren't covering it anymore. He started stealing from his parents. Small amounts at first. 20 from his mom's purse. 50 from his dad's wallet. They noticed, but they didn't say anything. Probably thought he was just being an irresponsible teenager. Age 18. Ryan graduated high school. Barely. His grades had tanked senior year. He'd been accepted to Arizona State, but he deferred. Taking a gap year, he told his parents. Figure out what I want to do. Really, he was spending every dollar on pills. Working part-time at a grocery store. Spending his entire paycheck the day he got it. Then someone at work said the words that would ruin Ryan's life for the next 10 years. Why are you wasting money on pills? Heroin's the same thing. Way cheaper. Ryan said no at first. Heroin was different. Heroin was for real addicts. Homeless people. Criminals. Not him. He just liked pills. He could stop anytime. He wasn't an addict. 3 weeks later, Ryan tried heroin for the first time. His co-worker's dealer. A house in South Phoenix. Dirty bathroom. Needle. $20 for a high that lasted all day, compared to $60 for pills that lasted 4 hours? The math was simple. And that's how Ryan Parker became a heroin addict at age 18. Not because he was a bad person. Not because his parents failed him. Not because he was weak. Because addiction doesn't care about any of that. It just cares about the hook. And Ryan was hooked. The next 10 years were a blur of needles, dealers, withdrawals, and lies. Ryan became a completely different person. The good kid who played baseball and got decent grades disappeared. In his place was someone who would do anything, steal, lie, manipulate, for the next fix. Age 19. Ryan's parents found his stash. Needles, spoons, baggies. His mom cried. His dad screamed. How could you do this to us? We gave you everything. They didn't understand. Ryan didn't do it to them. He did it because his brain was wired differently now. Because without heroin, his body felt like it was dying. Because the thought of going even 6 hours without using filled him with panic. So severe, he wanted to crawl out of his skin. They sent him to rehab. 30 days. Insurance covered. Ryan went through the motions. Detox was hell. 3 days of vomiting, sweating, shaking, feeling like every nerve in his body was on fire. Then 27 days of group therapy, individual counseling, meetings. Ryan nodded along, said what they wanted to hear. I see now that I have a disease. I'm committed to recovery. I'm grateful for this opportunity. He used again 3 hours after being released. Because 30 days wasn't enough. Because he walked out of rehab and went right back to the same apartment, same friends, same triggers. His dealer was waiting. Age 20. Ryan overdosed for the first time. His girlfriend found him blue on the bathroom floor. Not breathing. She called 911. Paramedics hit him with Narcan. 2 doses. Ryan woke up angry. Why did you call them? I was fine. He wasn't fine. He'd been clinically dead for 90 seconds. Age 22. Second overdose. This time alone in his car. Someone walking by saw him slumped over the wheel. Called 911. Narcan again. Hospital. Mandatory 72-hour psychiatric hold. Ryan checked himself out after 73 hours. Used that night. Age 24. Third overdose. This one nearly killed him permanently. Fentanyl-laced heroin. Ryan didn't know. 3 times stronger than what he usually used. He injected it in a gas station bathroom. Collapsed immediately. The gas station attendant found him. Called 911. Paramedics gave him 4 doses of Narcan. 4. His heart stopped twice in the ambulance. They revived him both times. Ryan woke up in the ICU with his mother sitting beside him, crying. She looked 10 years older than the last time he'd seen her. Ryan, please. Please stop. This is killing you. It's killing all of us. Ryan promised. Again. The same promise he'd made 100 times before. "I'm done, Mom. I swear. I'm really done this time." He meant it. Every time, he meant it. But meaning it and doing it are different things when you're addicted to heroin. Age 25. Ryan was homeless. He'd burned every bridge. His parents wouldn't let him in their house anymore. His sister had changed her number. His friends had all moved on or died. 3 of his using buddies overdosed that year. Ryan lived in his car until it got repossessed. Then he lived on the streets, downtown Phoenix, sleeping in doorways, panhandling for money, spending every dollar on heroin. This is what 10 years of heroin addiction looked like. Ryan weighed 135 pounds. He was 5'11". His arms were covered in track marks, collapsed veins, abscesses, scars. His teeth were rotting. He had hepatitis C. He looked 50 years old. And then, age 27, something changed. Ryan doesn't remember exactly what. Maybe it was waking up next to a dead body, another overdose, someone he didn't even know, sharing a tent in a homeless camp. Maybe it was looking in a mirror for the first time in months and not recognizing himself. Maybe it was just exhaustion. 10 years of fighting every single day to get high, then fighting to not be sick, then fighting to get high again. He was tired. Ryan walked into a free clinic. "I want help. Real help. I want to stop." The counselor looked at him, skeletal, covered in sores, shaking from early withdrawal, and made a call. Got Ryan into a long-term rehab program. 8 months. State-funded. Free. The kind of program that actually worked because it was long enough. Ryan detoxed. Again. The 4th time. Still just as hellish as the first. 3 days of physical agony. Vomiting. Sweating. Shaking. Feeling like his bones were breaking from the inside. Crying. Begging for it to stop. The staff wouldn't give him anything. You have to go through it. That's how it works. Then he started the real work. 8 months of therapy. Individual, group, family. Meetings every day. Learning about triggers, coping mechanisms, the disease model of addiction. Slowly understanding that he wasn't weak. He wasn't a bad person. He was sick. And sickness can be treated. 8 months in rehab. The longest Ryan had been clean since he was 17. 190 days. Then 200. Then 240. Each day a small victory. Each day proof that maybe, just maybe, he could do this. On day 243, a recruiter came to the rehab facility. Army. Talking about second chances. "The military changed my life. Gave me purpose. Gave me discipline. Some of you might think you can't enlist because of your past. But if you're clean, if you're committed, there might be a way." Ryan stayed after. Talked to the recruiter. "I'm a heroin addict. 10 years. 3 overdoses. Can I enlist?" The recruiter looked at him. "Are you clean now?" 243 days. Then yes. But you can't tell them about the addiction. You'll have to lie on the forms. Pass a drug test. If you can do that, you can enlist. Ryan knew it was dishonest, knew it was against regulations, but he also knew that if he went back to civilian life after rehab, back to Phoenix, back to the same streets where he'd used for 10 years, he'd relapse. Statistically, probably within 6 months. The Army was a way out, a complete break from his old life. On day 260, Ryan Parker enlisted in the United States Army. He passed the drug test, clean for 8 months. It wasn't hard. He lied on the medical forms, checked no for drug use, signed his name, and became a soldier. Basic training was hard but manageable. Ryan was used to suffering. Compared to heroin withdrawal, push-ups and running were nothing. He was still underweight, still weak from years of addiction, but he pushed through. The physical training was almost therapeutic. Every drop of sweat felt like he was purging the drugs from his system. The hardest part wasn't the training, it was staying clean. Because, for the first time in 10 years, Ryan had access to medical facilities, real pills, painkillers for injuries, sleep aids, anxiety meds, the very things that had started his addiction in the first place. During week 3, Ryan twisted his ankle during a ruck march. The medic offered him Vicodin for the pain. Just a few days. Ryan stared at those pills for 30 seconds. The same pills that had started everything when he was 17. 10 years ago. A lifetime ago. He could take them. Nobody would know. It was legitimate. Prescribed. Medical. No thanks, Ryan said. I'll take ibuprofen. The medic shrugged. Your choice. Gonna hurt though. It did hurt, but not as much as 10 years of addiction had hurt. Ryan limped through the rest of basic training on ibuprofen and willpower. He graduated, assigned to an infantry unit, deploying to Afghanistan in 3 months. Ryan was nervous but determined. He'd been clean for 11 months now, 336 days, the longest streak of his adult life. Maybe the army really was his second chance. Maybe he could leave the junkie behind and become someone new. Then someone from his hometown saw him at a bar near base. Recognized him. Ryan Parker? Holy shit, I thought you were dead. Last I heard you were homeless, shooting up downtown. How are you in the army? Ryan tried to laugh it off. That was a long time ago. I'm clean now. Been clean almost a year. But word spread. Soldiers talk. By the time Ryan deployed to Afghanistan, half his platoon knew. Ryan Parker was a former heroin addict. A junkie. Recovered or not, that label stuck. The mockery started on the plane to Afghanistan. Private Collins sitting behind Ryan. Hey, Parker, I heard you used to shoot heroin. That true? Ryan didn't turn around. Yeah, used to. I've been clean almost a year. Almost a year? Damn, that's like nothing. My cousin's been clean 5 years, and he still relapsed. You're gonna relapse, aren't you? Ryan didn't answer. Because, statistically, Collins was right. Most addicts relapse within the first year. Ryan knew the numbers. He'd heard them in group therapy. 60% relapse in the first year. 85% within 5 years. The odds weren't in his favor. Sergeant Martinez overheard. Parker's a junkie? Great. Just fucking great. They're sending us junkies now. He turned to Ryan. Let me make something clear, Parker. I don't trust you. I don't want you in my platoon. If it was up to me, you'd be dishonorably discharged. But since you're here, you're on every shit detail. Guard duty. Latrine cleaning. Supply runs. You don't get a weapon until I'm convinced you won't sell it for drug money. Got it. Sergeant, I've been clean. I don't care how long you've been clean. Once a junkie, always a junkie. You're a liability. Don't prove me right. The platoon followed Martinez's lead. If the sergeant said Parker was worthless, then Parker was worthless. Don't trust the junkie. Keep your valuables locked up around Parker. Parker's gonna steal the morphine from the med kits. Watch. Private Garcia was one of the few who didn't join in. He pulled Ryan aside one night. Hey man, I know what they're saying. Don't listen to them. My brother was an addict. Oxy. He's been clean 3 years now. It's possible. You can do this. Thanks, Ryan said. And he meant it. Because Garcia was the first person in the platoon to treat him like a human being instead of a statistic waiting to fail. The first mission came in week 2. Taliban compound raid. 20 soldiers. Martinez assigned roles. Collins, your point. Jackson, left flank. Rodriguez, right. Parker. He looked at Ryan with contempt. Parker, you stay at the FOB. Guard duty. Sergeant, you can follow orders. Stay here. We don't need a junkie who might freeze up getting us killed. Ryan stayed behind. Watched the platoon load into vehicles and drive off. Spent the next 8 hours pacing the FOB, feeling useless. Feeling exactly like the worthless junkie they thought he was. The platoon came back. Mission successful. 3 Taliban killed. No American casualties. They walked past Ryan without acknowledging him. He was invisible. Less than invisible. He was the junkie who couldn't be trusted. But worse than the mockery, worse than the exclusion, worse than being treated like human garbage was what started happening around day 10 in Afghanistan. The withdrawal symptoms came back. Not full withdrawal, Ryan wasn't using, but his body remembered. 10 years of heroin had rewired his brain. And now, in a combat zone, stressed and exhausted and surrounded by people who hated him, his brain was screaming for the drug that used to make everything okay. Day 12. Ryan started shaking during guard duty. Not cold, not scared. Withdrawal shakes. His body remembering what it used to have, what it wanted back. Day 15. Night sweats. Ryan woke up soaked, his sleeping bag drenched, shivering even though it was 70 degrees. Day 18. Nausea. Couldn't keep food down. Lost 8 pounds in 1 week. Day 23. Hallucinations. Ryan saw things that weren't there. Shadows moving. Voices calling his name. He knew they weren't real. That didn't make them less terrifying. Day 27. The worst day. Ryan was pulling guard duty, alone on the perimeter wall at 3 a.m. The shakes were so bad he could barely hold his rifle. His stomach was in knots. He was sweating and freezing simultaneously. And all he could think about was how good heroin would feel right now. How one hit would make all of this stop. The shaking, the nausea, the hallucinations. One hit and he'd feel normal again. He almost deserted, almost walked off the FOB into the Afghan night to find what? A dealer? In rural Afghanistan? There was no heroin here, no pills, nothing that would help. But his addict brain didn't care about logic. It just wanted relief. Ryan sat down against the wall, put his head in his hands, and cried because he was trapped in a war zone with people who hated him, going through withdrawal with no support, no help, no escape. And the only thing keeping him from using was the fact that there was literally nothing to use. Parker, you good? It was Garcia, approaching for his shift change. Ryan wiped his face quickly. Yeah, I'm good, just tired. Garcia sat down next to him. Didn't say anything for a while. Then, my brother told me withdrawal comes in waves, even after you're clean, especially when you're stressed. He said month 1 is usually okay. Your body's still healing, you're motivated. But month 2, 3, that's when it gets hard. When your brain starts reminding you what you're missing. How'd he get through it? He didn't. At first. Relapsed 4 times. But the 5th time, he made it. Said he found something to replace the high. For him, it was running. Ultramarathons. Something about the endorphins, the pain, the focus. Gave him what the drugs used to give him. Ryan looked at Garcia. What's gonna give me that? There's no marathon to run here. Just this. War. People who hate me. And my brain screaming at me to use. Garcia shrugged. Maybe the war is your marathon. Maybe that's the point. You can't use here. No choice. So you have to find another way through. Ryan didn't understand what Garcia meant. Not then. But he would. Soon. Day 31. The platoon got assigned to a high-value target mission. Taliban commander. Intelligence said he was meeting with fighters in a compound 15 clicks from the FOB. 40 Taliban estimated. Dangerous mission. High probability of contact. Martinez briefed the platoon. 20 soldiers. Roles assigned. Collins, point. Jackson, breacher. Rodriguez, overwatch. Parker. Ryan waited. Expected to be left behind again. Benched like a useless junkie. But Martinez surprised him. Parker, you're coming. We need every gun we can get. But you're last in stack. You freeze, you run, you do anything that gets my men killed, and I will personally make sure you never hold a rifle again. Clear. Clear, Sergeant. The mission launched at 0200. Ryan was terrified, not of the Taliban, of himself, of proving Martinez right, of freezing, of being the junkie everyone expected him to be. The compound was exactly where intelligence said. 40 Taliban inside, armed, alert. The platoon set up a perimeter. Martinez gave the signal. Breach. Jackson blew the door. The platoon poured in, and chaos erupted. Taliban everywhere. AK-47s firing. RPG launched. Americans returning fire. Shouting. Explosions. Smoke. Ryan was last through the door. His hands were shaking, not from withdrawal, from adrenaline. He saw a Taliban fighter emerge from a doorway, rifle raised, aiming at Collins. Ryan didn't think. He fired. 3 rounds. Center mass. The Taliban dropped. Collins turned, saw the body, saw Ryan. Parker got him. Parker just saved my fucking life. No time to process. More Taliban. The firefight lasted 17 minutes. Felt like 17 hours. Ryan fired 42 rounds. Hit 8 targets. Killed 4 Taliban confirmed. When it was over, when the compound was clear and the platoon was regrouping, Collins walked up to Ryan, extended his hand. I was wrong about you, man. You didn't freeze. You saved my life. Thank you. Ryan shook his hand. Didn't know what to say. But something had happened during that firefight. For 17 minutes, Ryan hadn't thought about heroin once. Hadn't felt withdrawal. Hadn't felt cravings. His brain had been completely focused on survival, on the mission, on his brothers in arms. And in the absence of the drug, the combat had filled that space. That's when Ryan understood what Garcia had meant. The war could be his marathon. The adrenaline, the focus, the purpose, it could replace what the heroin used to give him. Not perfectly, not permanently, but enough. Enough to keep him going. From day 31 forward, Ryan stopped fighting the war and started using it. Every mission became a test. Every firefight became a challenge. Stay focused. Stay present. Don't think about the cravings. Think about the mission. About keeping your brothers alive. About completing the objective. And it worked. Day 40. Day 50. Day 75. Day 100. Ryan was clean. Still in Afghanistan. Still fighting. Still sober. The platoon noticed. Martinez pulled him aside after Mission 12. Parker, I was wrong about you. You haven't just proven yourself. You become one of the best soldiers in this platoon. I'm sorry I judged you. I'm sorry I treated you like garbage. Ryan nodded. You were protecting your men, Sergeant. I don't blame you. I was a junkie. I could have been a liability. But I'm not. Not anymore. No, you're not. You're a soldier. A damn good one. The mockery stopped. Slowly, then completely. The platoon stopped calling him the junkie and started calling him Parker. Or Ryan. Or brother. He'd earned his place. Not by being perfect, but by showing up. Every day. Every mission. Sober. Day 200. Ryan marked it quietly. 200 days clean in Afghanistan. The longest he'd been sober in 10 years. Longer than rehab. Longer than any of his attempts to quit. He was doing it. Day 300. 9 months clean. 3/4 of a year. Garcia found him that night. Hey man, I heard today's a big day for you. 300 days. Yeah. My brother said that's when it gets easier. When your brain starts to rewire. When you start to believe you can actually do this. I already believe it, Ryan said. I have to. Because if I don't, I'll relapse the second I get home. Garcia looked at him seriously. What's your plan? For when you go back to the States? Ryan had been thinking about that. Meetings. AA or NA. Every day. Find a sponsor. Get a job. Stay away from Phoenix. Build a completely new life. That's a good plan. It has to be. Because I'm not going back to who I was. I can't. That person almost died 3 times. This person, the one I am now, he's stronger. He survived Afghanistan sober. He can survive anything. Day 412. The mission that changed everything. Taliban ambush. The platoon was moving through a village when gunfire erupted from 3 directions. Coordinated attack. Professional. Deadly. The platoon scattered. Took cover. Returned fire. But they were pinned down. Outgunned. Outnumbered. Radio call for air support. 15 minutes out. 15 minutes was an eternity in a firefight. Ryan was behind a low wall with Martinez and Collins. Taliban fire pouring in. Rounds hitting the wall, chipping concrete, showering them with debris. Martinez was hit. Leg. Arterial bleed. Spurting blood. Fuck. I'm hit. I'm hit. Collins froze. Combat medic was pinned 50 meters away. Couldn't reach them. Martinez was bleeding out. Had maybe 3 minutes before he'd lose consciousness. Maybe 5 before he'd die. Ryan grabbed the medkit, pulled out a tourniquet. "Sergeant, hold still. I got you." He wrapped the tourniquet around Martinez's thigh, above the wound. Pulled it tight. Tighter. Martinez screamed. Ryan didn't stop. Pulled until the bleeding stopped. Secured it. Checked Martinez's pulse. Weak but present. "You're okay, Sergeant. You're gonna be okay. Stay with me." Martinez looked at Ryan. Shock setting in. "Parker, you saved my life. You saved mine first, Sergeant. When you gave me a chance. Now we're even." Air support arrived. Apache helicopters turned the ambush around. Taliban scattered. The platoon secured the area. Medic reached Martinez, stabilized him, medevaced him out. Before they loaded Martinez onto the helicopter, he grabbed Ryan's hand. "Parker, you're not a junkie. You're a hero. Don't forget that." Ryan watched the helicopter take off, realized his hands were covered in Martinez's blood, realized he'd just saved the life of the man who'd called him worthless, who'd said once a junkie, always a junkie. And Ryan had proven him wrong. Not with words, with actions. By being there. By being sober. By being a soldier. Day 603. The Taliban whiskey incident. The platoon raided a Taliban compound, found a weapons cache, and, unexpectedly, a case of whiskey. Expensive stuff. Imported. The Taliban commanders had been living well. The platoon gathered around. Holy shit. Real alcohol. They'd been deployed 10 months. No alcohol allowed on base. Finding this was like finding gold. Collins grabbed a bottle. "We splitting this." "Hell yeah. We earned it." Someone handed Ryan a bottle. "Parker, you want some?" Ryan stared at the bottle. 12 ounces of whiskey. Alcohol wasn't heroin, but alcohol was a drug, a mind-altering substance. The thing he'd been avoiding for 603 days. His sobriety included alcohol. No drinking. Not even beer. Not even one sip. The platoon was watching. Waiting. Ryan could tell they weren't testing him. They were just being inclusive. Offering him a drink like they'd offer any soldier. Like he was one of them. Like he was normal. And that's what made it so tempting. To be normal. To fit in completely. To not be the guy who had to abstain while everyone else celebrated. Ryan looked at the bottle, felt the weight of it, felt the craving rising. Not for whiskey specifically, for the feeling of not having to be vigilant, of not having to count days, of being able to just relax and not worry about relapse. 603 days, almost 2 years, the longest he'd been sober in his adult life. One drink wouldn't ruin that, would it? He'd earned it. He'd fought. He'd bled. He'd saved lives. Didn't he deserve one drink? Parker. Collins was waiting. You want some or not? Ryan looked at his platoon, his brothers. The men who'd gone from calling him a junkie to calling him a hero. The men he'd fought beside, bled beside, saved. "No," Ryan said, handed the bottle back. "I'm good. I don't drink." "You sure?" "It's good shit." "I'm sure. Thanks though." Garcia caught Ryan's eye, nodded with respect, understood what that had cost. The discipline, the sacrifice. Later that night, Garcia found Ryan. "That was hard, wasn't it? Saying no. Harder than any firefight I've been in. But you did it." "I did. 600 days? 603. You're gonna make it, man. You know that, right? You're actually gonna make it." Ryan wanted to believe him. 603 days. Close to 2 years. But he'd been clean before. 8 months in rehab. And he'd relapsed 3 hours after getting out. Sobriety in a controlled environment was easy. The real test was civilian life. Going home. Facing all the triggers. "We'll see," Ryan said. "Ask me again when I'm back in the States." Day 847, November 15th, 2020. Ryan's last day in Afghanistan. His deployment was over. 2 years and 4 months deployed. 847 days sober. 0 relapses. 0 drinks. 0 pills. 0 anything. Pure, continuous sobriety in a combat zone. The platoon threw him a going-away gathering. Nothing fancy. MREs and energy drinks. But they made speeches. Collins stood up. "Parker, when you got here, I thought you were a liability. A junkie who'd get us killed. I was wrong. Dead wrong. You saved my life. Multiple times. You're one of the best soldiers I've ever served with. And I'm honored to call you brother." Others spoke. Jackson, Rodriguez, Garcia, all echoing the same thing. Ryan had proven himself, had earned their respect, was a soldier, not a junkie. When it was Ryan's turn to speak, he didn't know what to say. Didn't know how to explain what Afghanistan had given him. How the war had saved his life in a way rehab never could. 2 years ago, I was homeless, shooting heroin under a bridge in Phoenix. My veins were collapsed. I'd overdosed 3 times. I weighed 135 pounds. I was dying. If you told me then that I'd spend the next 2 years sober, in a war zone, fighting Taliban and saving lives, I wouldn't have believed you. I couldn't imagine being that person. But you guys made me that person. You gave me a purpose, a mission, brothers worth staying sober for. This deployment didn't ruin me. It saved me, and I'll never forget that. Thank you. The platoon clapped. Some were crying. Martinez, recovered from his leg wound, back with the unit, stood up, hugged Ryan. "You saved my life, Parker. Literally. I owe you everything. You gave me a chance when no one else would, Sergeant. We're even." Ryan flew home the next day, 847 days sober, 71 Taliban killed, multiple lives saved, a Bronze Star for valor, and a future that, for the first time in 10 years, didn't involve heroin. But Ryan knew the hardest battle was just beginning, because Afghanistan was a controlled environment. No heroin available, no dealers, no old triggers. Going home to the States meant facing all of that. The streets where he'd used, the people he'd used with, the easy availability of drugs. Ryan landed in Phoenix. His mom picked him up from the airport. She cried when she saw him. "You're healthy. You look so healthy." Ryan was 170 now, clean, strong, alive. "I'm 2 years sober, Mom. 2 years and 4 months. I'm so proud of you." Don't be proud yet. The hard part's just starting. Ryan found a sponsor his first week back. An A meeting. Older guy named Tom. 60 years old. 30 years sober. Former heroin addict who'd lost everything and rebuilt. "You stayed clean in Afghanistan? That's impressive. But civilian life is different. No structure. No mission. No brothers holding you accountable. You're gonna have to find a new purpose." "I know. What's your plan?" "Meetings every day. Work. Stay away from old friends. Build a new life." "Good. But you're missing something." "What?" "Helping others. The 12th step. You can't stay sober just for yourself. You have to give it away. Help other addicts. Be the person you needed when you were using." Tom was right. Ryan started attending meetings not just as a participant, but as a speaker. Sharing his story, the 10 years of addiction, the 3 overdoses, the homelessness, the army, Afghanistan, 847 days sober in a war zone, 71 Taliban killed. Other addicts listened. Some didn't believe him. "You're telling me you stayed sober in a war zone? That's impossible." But some did believe, and those were the ones Ryan focused on. The ones who needed to hear that recovery was possible, even for someone who'd used for 10 years, even for someone who'd overdosed 3 times, even for someone who'd been written off as hopeless. Ryan became a sponsor himself 6 months after returning home. His first sponsee was a 23-year-old named Jake. Heroin, 2 years using, 1 overdose, just out of rehab. "I don't think I can do this," Jake said. "Everyone says I'm gonna relapse. My family doesn't trust me. I don't even trust myself." Ryan looked at him, saw himself at that age. "You can do this. I know you can. Because I did it. And I was way worse off than you. Let me tell you what I learned in Afghanistan. Ryan told Jake about day 27, when he almost deserted because the withdrawal was so bad. About the Taliban whiskey. About 847 days of choosing sobriety one day at a time. The trick isn't to never want to use again. The trick is to have something stronger than the craving. For me in Afghanistan, it was my brothers, my platoon. I couldn't let them down. For you, it might be something else. Family, a goal. Whatever it is, find it. Hold on to it. And when the craving comes, and it will come, remember why you're doing this. Jake stayed sober. 90 days, 6 months, a year. Called Ryan on his 1-year anniversary. I did it, man. 1 year clean. I couldn't have done it without you. Yes, you could have, but I'm glad I could help. You saved my life. Someone saved mine once. Just passing it on. Ryan continued this work, sponsoring addicts, speaking at meetings, volunteering at the rehab facility where he'd gotten clean. Slowly, his purpose became clear. Afghanistan had saved him. Now he was going to save others. 5 years after returning from Afghanistan, Ryan had sponsored 43 people. 27 were still sober. 16 had relapsed, but 9 of those had gotten clean again and were back in the program. Ryan's success rate was higher than most sponsors because he understood something fundamental. Recovery isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up. Ryan also started working with a veterans organization, helping soldiers transitioning from combat to civilian life. Soldiers struggling with PTSD, addiction, homelessness. Soldiers who felt lost without the structure and purpose of the military. One soldier, Marcus, was a former Marine, Iraq veteran, started using Oxy after getting injured, progressed to heroin, overdosed twice. I can't do this, Marcus told Ryan. I'm a Marine. Marines don't quit, but I can't beat this. Ryan understood. In Afghanistan, I killed 71 Taliban. But you know what was harder than any of those kills? Saying no to a bottle of whiskey. Addiction doesn't care if you're a Marine. It doesn't care if you're strong or disciplined or brave. It's a disease. You treat it like a disease. How? 1 day at a time. 1 hour if you have to. 1 minute. You stay clean right now. Then you stay clean again in 5 minutes. And you keep doing that until 5 minutes becomes 5 days, becomes 5 years. Marcus got clean. 3 years sober now. Credits Ryan with saving his life. Ryan deflects. I just told you what someone told me. That's how this works. We save each other. Today, Ryan Parker is 37 years old. He's been sober for 10 years. 3,652 days. He still counts. Will probably always count. Because that's what addicts do. We count the days. We remember how hard we fought for each one. Ryan works full-time for a veterans organization. Helps soldiers struggling with addiction, homelessness, PTSD. He sponsors 12 people currently. Speaks at meetings 3 times a week. Volunteers at the rehab facility every Saturday. He's married. Met his wife, Sarah, at a meeting 4 years ago. She's 8 years sober from alcohol. They understand each other in a way most couples don't. They count days together, celebrate anniversaries, support each other through cravings. Ryan has a small apartment. Not much, but it's his. He pays rent, has a car, a job, a life. Things he didn't have when he was using. Things he thought he'd never have. On his wall, he keeps 3 things. First, a photo of his platoon in Afghanistan. All 20 soldiers, smiling, brothers. Second, his Bronze Star Medal. Third, a sobriety coin, 10 years. People ask Ryan if he's proud of the Bronze Star, the 71 Taliban, the lives he saved in combat. I'm proud, he says, but I'm more proud of this. He holds up the sobriety coin because killing 71 Taliban took 2 years. Staying sober for 10 years took every single day of those 10 years. That's the harder fight, and I'm winning. Ryan's message to other addicts is simple. You can recover. I don't care how long you've used. I don't care how many times you've relapsed. I don't care how hopeless it seems. You can recover. I was homeless, shooting heroin under a bridge, with 3 overdoses on my record. I've been sober 10 years now. If I can do it, you can do it. Find your purpose. Find your brothers. Find your why. And fight for it every single day. You're stronger than you think. You're worth more than the drugs tell you. And recovery is possible. I'm living proof. Because Ryan Parker isn't a junkie anymore. He's not a former addict. He's a soldier, a sponsor, a husband, a life saved and a lifesaver. He's proof that redemption is real, that second chances work, that the person you were doesn't have to be the person you are. And if a homeless heroin addict with 3 overdoses can stay sober in a war zone for 847 days, kill 71 Taliban, save lives, earn a Bronze Star, and build a life worth living, then maybe, just maybe, anyone can. The war didn't break Ryan Parker. It rebuilt him. And now he's using what he learned to rebuild others. One day at a time. One soldier at a time. One addict at a time. Because recovery is possible. Always. Subscribe for more stories of soldiers who overcame impossible odds, fought battles both external and internal, and proved that redemption is real and second chances matter.